Welcome back to the Yee Yee Podcast, episode 31. Can't believe we've been doing it that long. We have a great interview today with Kenny, who we just signed. We just signed a professional cornhole player, which is something that I never thought we'd be saying.
Yeah, we're all over the place with our sponsorships. Really just a lateral movement from NASCAR to the Cornhole League. I let the professionals take care of it yesterday. You guys were scheming the entire time leading up to him coming to the farm to make his appearance. And he's been a supporter of the brand for a long time. And
Sorry. I don't know what happened. I got an itch in my throat. Okay, go ahead. I don't know if we're going to cut that or not, but that was terrible. I can like barely breathe.
are you okay?
Oh man, I just drank a lot of water right before this. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead. You let the professionals handle it.
I lost my train of thought now. Yes. So you guys played cornhole all day yesterday, and Brian filmed it. We're going to release that, but you also had a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, we have him on the podcast, and that's going to be coming up in a minute. It was, you think you're good, and then an actual professional comes out here, and it's just insane how good he is at this. And we learned that he hasn't even been doing it that long. I was thinking he's been playing cornhole forever, but he said he started during the pandemic. But yeah, he was incredible, and we're pretty good at the office, but man, he's just on a next level. He was thinking like moves ahead. He was like, there was an actual strategy to it. So that was really fun, and I think you'll enjoy that interview. We are going to finally pick the winner of the guitar that we've been talking about the last few weeks. Ben's off. Yeah, you can just hand it to me, however. You don't have to do the Chris Lee Earl Dibbles throw. So this is the guitar that we've been talking about for the last few weeks. To win this, you had to subscribe to our YouTube and then comment below that you wanted the guitar. So how many of these did we release in the fall launch?
100.
Yeah, so we released 100. They're all signed by Granger. This is the only, I don't think we'll probably never do this design again, will we?
It will be available on the road on Granger's tour. I don't know if it will be available in the store again.
Yeah. So let us know. Also, comment below if you think that we should do signed guitars every launch. The feedback was awesome, so we're thinking about doing them in the winter launch. So comment below if you want us to do that.
And what design ideas that you have.
Yeah, because we don't want to do this exact design again. We want to do the same thing, but not a little bit different design. So the winner of the guitar is Michael Bergeson. I hope I'm saying that right. Good job, Michael.
Yeah, Mike.
I always believed. Yeah, so Michael, we're going to respond to one of your comments, and you let us know. We'll reach out to you, and we'll get in touch and see how we can get this guitar to you. So, yeah, anything else?
That's it. I'm excited to listen to the rest of this.
Cool. Well, here's Kenny. All right, we now welcome on very special guest, Kenny, who is our newly signed ACL professional. And tell people at home what ACL stands for if you're not familiar.
ACL is the American Cornhole League. It's what I think used to be like a hobby that turned into a professional sport now.
Yeah, so like it is literally the professional sport of cornhole.
Yep.
Like it's the professional organization, it's the MLB, it's the NFL. So you happen to be in the Cornhole Professional League. And by the way, we've got Stu on and Tyler as well. I forgot to introduce them. So tell us a little bit.
We're just amateurs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so we just got done doing a cornhole tournament, and it was kind of messed up what you did. You who was that first match against? Who was the first match against?
Me.
It was me and Hayden. It was me and
Me
you.
and Caleb.
Well, yeah, that was a championship, though.
Me and Matt.
Yeah, Brian and Matt. It was really messed up what Kenny did. He let them win the first round, and we played best 2 out of 3, and then y'all just wiped the floor with everybody else.
That's because Matt was playing unreal today.
Yeah, he was definitely on a different level than I've seen him play before.
It's crazy.
He stepped up.
It's crazy because you think you're good, and then you play someone that's like an actual professional in the sport. You're like, oh, maybe I'm not that good.
Yeah.
So how many professionals are in the ACL right now?
There's 256.
Okay, and is that an American? That's only American.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Is there like a global league or organization?
I don't think so. I think they're trying to make it that way, though.
Okay. It's the most American thing in the world.
Dude, I don't
Right,
know
yeah.
about that because I don't know, like Japan or something. I feel like would just crush.
Destroy us. So we'll talk a little bit about your path and everything, but can you tell the listeners a little bit about how our partnership came to be, how partnerships work in Cornhole Championships, and what that's going to look like over the next year?
Okay, so obviously I'm a huge supporter of EE, and as soon as I became pro, that was honestly the first company that I wanted to try to get with. And so the way it works with sponsorships is you ask for a certain amount of money and you offer them a spot on your jersey. And the jerseys are worn you can wear them at the national tournaments, at conference tournaments, regional tournaments. So your company's able to get seen from a bunch of people that are watching. And
Where's Yee going on the jersey?
it's going to go, so there's a big Bush's logo that's on everybody's jersey because they're one of the main sponsors, but
Right.
I'm going to put EE right underneath it.
Sweet.
Bush beans, not Bush Light.
Yeah.
Or Bush's chicken.
Or yeah, I forgot about that. Our fans are like, heck yeah, Bush Light, baby. It's funny to see the different sponsors that are in the cornhole game. So whenever COVID hit and all sports shut down, I guess cornhole shut down for a little bit, but it was like one of the first things, the only thing on ESPN.
Yep.
And it used to sit in the random channels, but then there were no sports on. So all of a sudden, cornhole was on ESPN, like prime time, 7 p.m. on a
Yeah,
Saturday.
they figured
night.
out a way to do it where I think when they first came back on, obviously everybody had to wear the mask thing, but then they made it to where the people had to step away from the boards, and then they had someone picking the bags out for you.
Interesting. So have you seen, golf is another sport that's really blown up during COVID, and I hear that there's all these, they call them COVID golfers, all these people that picked it up during the pandemic because golf, obviously, the game lends itself to being socially distanced or whatever.
You just mean like any average person?
No, not any average person. It was just a sport that really blew up because all these people were sitting at home now.
Oh,
Well,
watching it.
Well, that, and then they're like, well, I might as well go golf. Like that,
Yeah.
golf courses didn't shut down. Did you see a huge uptick in cornhole with that
Yeah,
happening?
there was, yeah.
And you played, obviously, before.
No, so I started right towards the end of 2019.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, so you started right before the pandemic hit?
No, right at the end of last year.
Oh, so you started during COVID.
Yeah, that's when I started playing.
Wow.
That's like the most American story ever. It's like, yeah, I guess we're sitting inside. Might as well pick up a new
Well, that's
hobby.
what we did. Is someone at work made some boards, and that's we just started playing every day. And then I realized I was better than everybody else was, and so then I found the Temple League, and I started going to that. Realized I was better than those people, and then I found out about ACL and how they have these huge conference and regional tournaments that I knew absolutely nothing about. And so they were like, "Hey, you should go to them." So started going to them and started playing better competition, and that's how I got better.
I was going to ask, how did you get better? You obviously had the talent, but did you have like a mentor, somebody say, hey, no, you're throwing this way, throw that way? Like, how'd you
So
get
at
better?
the beginning?
And how do you get better even today, you know?
So at
Asking
the
for a
beginning,
friend.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it's best to find which bag that you're gonna like and that you can throw. Like mine's a carpet bag, and carpet bags you have to throw it flat. So one of the first things I had to learn was throwing it flat, because if you don't, it's gonna kick left or right. And so once I got that figured out, then I just stuck with the same thing. And you'll see a lot of people that switch bags like every other tournament. You'll see them throwing something different. And
That's Stu. I feel like you switch it up.
I do try to switch it up because I usually
You haven't
throw-
found the bag yet.
Yeah, I
maybe.
haven't found the bag, I guess.
There's still hope for y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, he became a professional in a year and a half.
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe when shipments start slowing down a little
Yeah.
bit, I'll have a lot more time to play.
So you found the bag, and then what's like the next step to get better?
the next step is playing the ACL tournaments, playing better competition. Like they have, the way they break it down is advanced, competitive, and intermediate. And advanced, obviously, it's all the best players, and the pros play in the advanced. So I started playing in the advanced tournaments, and that's when you get to go and play against the pros. And honestly, I got beat a lot at the beginning, but I mean, it's the only way to get better is to watch them and learn from them. And there's a guy that plays in Austin, his name's Eddie, and he's kind of like my mentor. I try to play, and he throws carpet bags too, and he's also signed by BG. So
Can any like Joe Schmo like pull up to a tournament and be like, yeah, I want to play?
As long as you have an ACL account, you can.
So you just need an ACL account, and that's it.
I can see the gears turning in your head.
Yeah, they're spinning for sure.
How does it feel to be a professional at something that most people exclusively do when they're intoxicated?
Well, they still do that, even as a pro.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you have people? Do you have people you guys pull up and there's just someone pre-gaming in the parking lot?
Mm-hmm. There's tournaments that I've gone to that start at 9 in the morning, and obviously you get there early to warm up, and they already got beers in their hand.
Wow.
These are professionals that are doing that.
You know what? I maybe could do this. I couldn't play well.
A lot
but I could at
of
least
them say that it makes them, when they start drinking, it makes them feel looser, and they get better as they go on. And I mean, it's true for some of them.
Interesting. How do cornhole injuries work? Like, what if you were to get? What's the most common cornhole injury? I guess is what I would ask. Like, have you seen a cornhole injury?
I haven't.
Okay, I was wondering if people can get like pitcher's elbow from flinging.
I think they just.
How often do
I
you
think they
play?
just buck
It's called
up.
arthritis.
Every day?
Yeah.
A couple hours or something?
Yeah, so we have break times at work. We play during break time. I play during lunchtime, and then I play after work. And then I play 3 days a week in Austin and Temple leagues.
And you sound like the next Yee employee. So
Working on it. So at what point can you? Well, at what point can you quit your job? Like, are these people that are on TV playing all the time? They don't have another job, do they?
No, so a lot of the top players in the country, that's all they do is play cornhole because they're making so much money off of their bag company that it's basically paying them a work salary just to throw.
Do they get paid if they win too?
Mm-hmm.
Like top 3 get paid, or how's that work?
So it's different for each tournament. Top 3 in like regional and conferences get paid, but in the bigger tournaments, they pay out to like, I think it's like 15 or 20 people. And so it's kind of dumb because it takes away more money for the people that win, because the people that finish like 20th are only getting like $30.
Yeah, it's like just pile that up on
exactly, yeah. But I mean, it's still a big payout. There's tournaments that people get, like first place gets $5,000. And
How many people is sponsored by BG? Do you know?
probably roughly like 20.
And tell the listeners what BG is.
So BG is a bag company. Not sure what BG stands for.
Okay.
I've had
At least you're honest.
I've had that question asked
Okay.
to me a lot. What does BG stand for? I was like, honestly, I've never asked. I've never honestly been curious enough to ask. So, but yeah, they're one of the bag makers, and they're based out of Houston. So it's a local.
Cool.
Texas company.
I was thinking that you started cornhole much earlier in life, which is why I was going to ask this question, but I'll still ask it anyways. What do your parents think that you're trying to chase a dream of being a cornhole champion? Because that's got to be like a fairly funny conversation. It's like, no, this is serious, Mom and Dad. Like, my parents would laugh at me, but I don't know. What about yours?
So honestly, I think mine thought it was kind of dumb at first because I was spending like all of my days and time just playing cornhole, and I wasn't good at the beginning, so they thought it was a joke. And then they obviously saw that I gradually started getting better, and then they started coming and watching me play and realized, oh, he's pretty good. And so now they're like constantly like asking for updates and stuff whenever.
How old are you?
32.
32. Nice.
That's one of those things too. It's like growing up, you play baseball, your dad can help you. Like, what is your dad going to do, help you playing cornhole? I mean, I guess he can give you tips, but he doesn't know any better.
Yeah. I mean, he can pass you beers.
Well, there you
I
go.
bet you just smoke them at family barbecues and
Yep.
stuff.
So, Anna's off camera, your wife, but have you ever gotten her to try and start playing?
I get her to throw the bags back to me.
He's like the quarterback on the sideline. Have you ever seen the quarterback warming up and he won't catch the ball? Like,
Mhm.
he's got a trainer beside him, like just a little assistant that just catches the ball and hands it over to him. That's actually what you do with her. If you did that, though, if y'all played, then she could just be your doubles partner. Because you said that you play singles, but then you also play doubles with a female.
Right.
Does it have to be a
No,
male-female?
it doesn't have to be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So your female partner just is so good.
Yeah, she's really good. Yeah.
Where does she live?
She lives in Dallas.
So y'all just fly to tournaments and meet up.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, like, obviously the ones in Texas, I mean, we pick out, there's a tournament basically every weekend, so we'll pick out the ones we want to play together. Then they have things called open tournaments, which are in different states. There's usually like 2 a month. So we'll pick some of those out and we'll fly there. And
Do you ever see like falling out of partners where they, for whatever reason, say, I'm going to get a new partner?
so that only happens at the end of the year. You're allowed to pick a different partner once the new season starts.
Gotcha.
But so you have to finish in the top 100 in singles or top 50 in doubles in order to keep your status as pro. And so if your partner just completely drops you, then your only hope is you finish in the top 100 in singles. Otherwise, you're screwed.
After watching Tyler and I bicker back and forth, how far into the season, hypothetically, if we were partners, do you think we'd make it before we just killed each other?
We're good when we're partners, and when we play against each other, we're not.
Probably a month.
Probably a month.
Yeah.
I would get ticked off that he did like left the toilet seat up or something in the hotel room, and we would just storm off. We wouldn't come to the tournament the next day. We're like, what happened to those guys that I just got in a fight?
I mean, it's funny. There's a lot of people, they don't bicker like that, but you can see it in their facial expressions when their partner did something bad.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you can't recover from it. And so then they get mentally drained down and they're not into it anymore. And
Yeah, I hear that all the time. They're like, it's okay. It's okay. And they're
Yep.
just like pissed.
Like, how much of it is a mental game? Like,
I would honestly say it's probably 40% skill and 60% mental.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, once you get to that level, I mean, you obviously have some that are better than others, but, I mean, everybody's a pro, so they obviously all know what they're doing. And after
Yeah.
that, it's just all mental.
Yeah, Kenny was just like stone cold, not talking the entire game. Caleb's over there taking phone calls.
yeah.
Brian's on his phone, editing a video. We're all doing something.
I think that's how a lot of sports are, though. I've always heard that about baseball, especially because baseball is a very mental game. And they say that the difference between AAA and Major League, you have your anomalies that are just studs, but the difference between AAA and Major League is just in between the years. I always heard that saying,
Yep.
so it makes sense. Do you eat exclusively Johnsonville hot dogs?
No. I
'Cause
don't even think
Johnsonville-
I've ever had one.
You've never had one, and
think so.
you're an ACL pro.
Nope.
It's funny
I
whenever
feel like they would have that regularly there, like, just available. Like,
yeah, the green room
grab,
for all
grab
the
your
players.
brats.
Yeah, the green room for all the players is just Johnsonville corn dog or hot dogs. We say that because Johnsonville, they sponsor like all of the
Yeah, they're
ACL
like one of the
stuff
main
on-
sponsors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's always whenever I see it on the TV guide, it's always the Johnsonville Cornhole Championships. So yeah, that's where that question comes from. Do you have any? I know that baseball players or athletes in general have some weird quirks. Do you have any rituals that you do before competitions?
No, not really. I mean, maybe just listen to some music to get me hyped up a little bit before I play. But other than that, just make sure I get there early and just zone everybody out. And
Do you play with headphones in?
no, I can't play with headphones.
Yeah,
I
some
see.
people
I
do
see
that.
There's
that.
a lot
and
of people that do it, but
I see
I've-
people with like their koozies and stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I've tried playing with headphones, and you focus more on the music than you do on playing, and so I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
What's
I
your
would get
favorite?
distracted.
What's your favorite artist to listen to warm up, and why Granger?
So I listen to a lot of Justin Bieber before I play.
Really?
Yeah.
New Justin Bieber or old Justin Bieber?
New.
My man.
Yep.
The old stuff's weird.
Yeah.
He sounds like a 15. Oh, I guess he was 15.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
he was.
That's interesting. Okay, so I see that you're wearing the Yeezys. Do you only wear those for cornhole? Is that like your special shoes?
So when I first started playing, dudes was what everybody wore. Like you saw them everywhere.
What is that?
the Hey Dude shoes?
Oh, the ones that I've literally got
Yeah.
on. Hey dudes, okay.
Yeah.
I was
So,
wondering if you was talking about
everybody wore those, and so I had already had some, so I just started wearing those to the tournaments. And honestly, in the last like 3 months, it's like starting to transition over to Yeezys. So now you see a lot of people that are wearing those now.
that. Really?
Yeah.
Did you start the trend or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Many are saying that he is the trendsetter.
Yeah. Well,
Many being me.
I would believe it if he told me, and I mean, you hear it right here. So
You do realize how dumb this group is. You could say anything you want right now, and we would just believe it. Yeah, we would. All right, we're going to go to break real quick. We'll be right back.
So you played several rounds with us. I'm just curious, like, kind of what you saw from us, like, as amateurs, in things like that we could improve on, or like, you know, different shot styles, or, you know, ways that we could improve.
So Caleb throws a very interesting bag. That's the first thing that I noticed.
Interesting.
How is his throw different than Brian's? They're similar, right?
We would describe
So,
Caleb and
Brian
Brian's
kind of
backs
just
as like
he angles it more though, and so when it hits, it'll slide up. But whenever Caleb throws it, it flips
Yeah,
over.
I've noticed.
yeah, he's got like a horseshoe.
Yeah.
I think
thrower's
all of us
throw.
used to throw like that, and then when I watched on ESPN an ACL like tournament,
Mhm.
I saw the way they were throwing. I was like, all right, well, I have to throw that way because that's
Yeah.
the way they are. That's when
Yeah.
I switched it.
Do you watch film?
No, I hate rewatching my games.
Do people do that though, right?
I'm sure they do, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't gone back and watched any of them, mainly because, I mean, I know as I'm playing what I did wrong and
True.
what's working. So
Stu, I'll answer that for you. It sounds like it's pick your bag and then just play a ton,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? I mean, he's playing all day. We're playing every other day, like 30 minutes to an hour.
and I also noticed whenever y'all play too, like y'all hardly ever step out either. Y'all just throw it straight down the middle and that's it.
Well, the majority of the time, we don't step out very much because the majority of the time there's typically like boxes of overstock right
Yeah.
next to us, and we're trying to stay within the confines of that because if we do step out, there's usually like a pallet jack handle that's in the way, or a box of We the People shirts or whatever just in the way. So yeah, I think that's something that we could probably work on for sure.
So you probably learned certain shots and tricks playing with pros that were better than you.
Yeah, and just watching
Right.
them.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a big tournament and you have time down where you're waiting on your next game, I would usually just go watch other pros play and see what they do in different situations. And
Because I have one throw. I think we all pretty much have one throw. You were like, every situation was different. You were throwing different shots. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Wow.
the way you want to play too is you want to think a bag ahead also, because I mean if someone has the blocker up, I mean it's very easy to shoot the air mail, but then if you missed and that leaves it open for the next person to just push the bag through, and then you could have put a blocker behind it instead and make it more difficult for his next shot.
do you go to bed at night sometimes like replaying numbers in your head of like previous games?
Yeah, I actually did that this past weekend because I had a stupid round that I gave up, and I thought about it for a very long time.
Yeah. So you're not crazy.
Yeah, sometimes we'll play like I say the score to my head like 17-6, and then I find myself like an hour later, everybody's gone saying 17-6.
It was funny because you were here whenever A&M beat Alabama a few weeks ago. Huge upset loss. And he was so hyped at halftime that he literally just went into the warehouse and started throwing bags.
Yeah.
I think it was like a Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Just out here by yourself getting better. If you had to pick one company, excluding EE Apparel, to be a sponsor, who would it be? Think big. You can have anyone in the world.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper,
I like
my
it.
man.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love it. Dr. Pepper's the best.
it really is.
You got any more questions?
I'm good.
I'm good.
You don't want to. By the way,
I
that
gotta
that
go
tip-
practice.
Yeah, that tip was pro bono. After that, you have to go to lessons.
Yeah, I guess he'll have to start charging me.
Do people do that? Are there like lessons that you can get? Cornhole lessons?
Some people has asked me before to give them lessons. They're like, I'll pay you to do it. And I was, honestly, the worst question that I hate the most is, how do you throw your bag? Because they want to throw it flat. And so I try telling them what I do, and they literally tell me the exact same thing, that they're doing that. And I'm like, well, I don't know how it's not working. You're obviously doing something with your wrist
you're obviously
differently
not.
than. Yeah.
So how do you grip your bag? Because I know there's like butterfly grip.
That's what I do. The butterfly.
You do
grip.
butterfly. I do butterfly.
It helps the resin
is that?
stay without flopping around.
What's the butterfly grip?
It's
Well,
basically where
you
you
can
hold
explain
it
it
and
better.
then you pull like the top part of the bag down. That way the resin doesn't move. So that way when you come down with it, it's still sitting in your hand. You don't have to worry about it like flopping over on you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We are really getting into the weeds here, y'all.
Yeah.
Our fans at home are like, we don't care. We don't care. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're super pumped for the next year. We're going to be posting, like, whenever because you have a few different professional tournaments coming up, because you do, like, different regional stuff, but then there's a few a year, correct, that are professional.
Right. There's 5 national tournaments.
national, okay.
They don't start till February.
Cool. Well, we'll be posting for listeners so they can follow along, and yeah, we're super excited, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Eat your veggies.
Bye.